Take a dollar bill out of your wallet. Hold it in your hand. You think you are holding value. You think you are holding wealth. You are wrong. You are holding a melting ice cube. You are holding a piece of meat left out in the sun. Every second you hold it, it gets lighter. Every second, a microscopic invisible parasite takes a bite out of it. This parasite is called inflation. You have been taught that inflation is the price of milk going up. That is a lie designed to keep you calm. Milk is not becoming more expensive. The milk is the same. The cow is the same. The effort is the same. The money is becoming weaker. The unit of measurement you traded your life for is shrinking. Imagine you work 10 hours to hunt a deer. You store the meat in a cave. You think, I am safe. I have food for the winter, but the cave is full of maggots. Every day the maggots eat 10% of your meat. By the time winter comes, you open the cave and it is empty. You starve not because you were lazy, but because you were stupid. You didn't preserve the kill. Savings are rotting meat. If you keep your money in a bank account, you are the caveman feeding the maggots. The bank pays you 0.01% interest. The real inflation is 10%, 15%, maybe 20%. Do the math. You are losing 15% of your life force every year by doing nothing. This is not saving. This is slow motion bankruptcy. The primal code dictates a simple law. Energy must move or it dies. Stagnant water becomes poisonous. Stagnant blood causes a stroke. Stagnant money becomes worthless. The system is designed to punish those who hoard cash. Why? Because cash is a claim on resources. The government prints trillions of new claims every year. Imagine you have a pizza cut into 8 slices. You own 1 slice. You are happy. Then the government walks in and cuts the same pizza into 800 slices. You still own 1 slice, but now your slice is a crumb. You didn't lose your slice, but you starved to death. This is what happens when you save money. You are holding onto the paper while they dilute the ink. It is a hidden tax on your cowardice. Inflation is a tax on people who are too scared to invest. It is the penalty you pay for keeping your energy safe in the vault instead of risking it in the market. The universe hates cowards, and inflation is the whip it uses to beat them. You feel this, don't you? You feel like you're running faster but staying in the same place? You make more money than your father did, but you feel poorer. Your father bought a house for $30,000. You can't buy a garage for $300,000. Is the house 10 times better? No, the money is 10 times worse. This is the Red Queen effect. In Alice in Wonderland, the Red Queen says, now here, you see, it takes all the running you can do to keep in the same place. You are running on a treadmill that is speeding up. If you stand still, save, you get shot off the back. If you walk, get a 3% raise, you fall behind. You have to sprint, invest, build, just to stay ahead of the mouth of the beast. The saver is a tragic figure. He is the squirrel who works all summer gathering nuts, but he buries them in wet mud. He works hard. He sacrifices. He doesn't buy the latte. He drives a cheap car. He thinks he is being responsible. He thinks he is winning. But in 20 years, he digs up his nuts and they are rotten shells. He realizes too late that hard work without financial literacy is futile. He realizes that he was playing a game where the scoreboard was rigged against him. You cannot win a game where the points are devalued every minute. You have to stop playing for points, cash. You have to start playing for territory, assets. This is why the rich carry debt and the poor carry cash. The poor think cash is safe. The rich know cash is a hot potato. They get rid of it as fast as possible. They trade the melting ice, cash, for solid rock, real estate, stocks, gold, Bitcoin. They trade the dying currency for living assets. And then the magic happens. Inflation helps the asset owner. If I own a house and the dollar collapses, the price of my house goes up. The asset acts as a raft. The flood of inflation raises the raft. But if I'm standing on the ground holding cash, the flood drowns me. You have to decide, are you on the raft or are you drowning? Stop looking at your bank balance as a score. It is not a score. It is a battery meter, and the battery is leaking. Every day you leave that money sitting there, you are disrespecting the time you spent earning it. You traded your sweat, your stress, and your time away from your family to get that money, and now you are letting it rot? That is disrespectful to your own life. You must learn the art of financial refrigeration. You must learn how to freeze your energy into assets that do not rot. Otherwise, you are just hunting for maggots. So if the math is so obvious, if cash is trash and assets are king, why aren't you investing? Why is your money still sitting in that dead savings account? It's not because you are stupid, it's because you are terrified. Your brain has a biological glitch. To your reptilian brain, money leaving my pocket equals pain. It does not distinguish between where the money is going. If you spend $1,000 on a new iPhone, your brain feels a little pain, but it gets a dopamine hit from the shiny toy. If you invest $1,000 in a stock or a business, your brain feels only the pain. The money is gone. You see nothing. You hold nothing. Your amygdala screams, we lost resources. We are vulnerable. This is the scarcity trap. You are biologically wired to hoard. In the Ice Age, if you threw your meat into the dirt, planted it, you were crazy. You had to eat it now. But in the economic world, throwing it into the dirt. Investing is the only way to grow a forest. You are eating your seed corn. Imagine a farmer. He has a bag of corn. He has two choices. Choice A, grind the corn, bake bread, and eat today. He is full. He is happy. But next year, he has nothing. He starves. Choice B, throw the corn into the mud, bury it, lose it, go hungry today. But next year, the corn grows into a field. He eats forever. You are the farmer who eats the seeds. You look at the investment as a loss of corn. You say, I can't afford to invest. I need this money for safety. You are hallucinating. That money is not safety. It is a seed. Every dollar you keep in your pocket is a seed that you are preventing from germinating. You are suffocating your future children to feed your current fear. And let's talk about your definition of risk. You tell me, investing is risky. The stock market is a casino. Crypto is a scam. Real estate might crash. So you choose the safe option, the bank. Let me reframe risk for you. Risk is the probability of purchasing power loss. In the stock market, there is a probability you might lose. There is also a probability you might win big. It is variable. In the bank, with inflation at 10%, the probability of loss is 100%. It is not a possibility. It is a certainty. You are choosing the guarantee of slowly going broke over the possibility of becoming wealthy. That is not risk management. That is suicide. You are jumping out of a building because you are afraid the parachute might not open. So you choose the pavement. The pavement is certain death. The parachute is a risk. Only a madman chooses the pavement. But that is you. Every single month you leave your money in cash. You suffer from loss aversion. Psychologically, the pain of losing $100 is twice as intense as the pleasure of gaining $100. This fear paralyzes you. You are playing not to lose. Winners play to win. If you play not to lose in a rigged game, inflation, you will eventually lose everything. The goal of the primal code is not to preserve your pile of paper. The goal is to preserve your purchasing power. If you have $100,000 under your mattress for 20 years, you still have $100,000. But now it only buys a used Honda instead of a house. Did you save money? No, you lost the house. The number stayed the same. The reality collapsed. You need to override your instinct to touch and hold your wealth. Real wealth is often invisible. It is digital numbers on a screen. It is a deed to a property you don't live in. It is intellectual property. You want to see the pile of gold. You want to feel the cash. That is the peasant instinct. The peasant trusts only what he can hold. The king trusts the system. The king controls land he has never seen. He owns ships he has never sailed. He trusts the flow. You need to stop hugging your money. Money is like a soldier. If you keep your soldiers in the barracks, savings, they get fat, lazy, and eventually they die. You must deploy them. Send them to the front lines. Assets. Some will die? Yes, that is war. But the ones that survive will bring back captives. They will conquer territory. They will multiply. A soldier in the barracks costs you money. A soldier on the front line makes you money. Empty the barracks. Total deployment. And stop waiting for the crash. I hear this excuse all the time. I'm keeping cash because I'm waiting for the market to crash. Then I'll buy low. Liar. You are not a strategic genius. You are a coward making excuses. When the market crashes, you will be even more scared. You won't buy. You will say, it's going to zero. You are trying to time the market because you are afraid to be in the market. Time in the market beats timing the market. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. The worst time is when I feel safe. You will never feel safe. The nature of the jungle is insecurity. Accept it. Plant the seeds in the storm. The storm waters the crop. You have to change your identity from hoarder to allocator. A hoarder operates out of fear. Mine, my precious. An allocator operates out of strategy. Where does this resource yield the highest return? You are the CEO of your own life. Imagine a CEO who keeps all the company's capital in a checking account and refuses to buy new machines, refuses to hire salespeople, and refuses to fund R&D. That company goes bankrupt. You are that company. You are running your life into the ground because you are too cheap to invest in your own expansion. Stop being cheap. Cheapness is expensive. Poverty is the price you pay for the safety of the known. Step into the unknown. Throw the corn in the mud. It feels like loss. It is actually the only way to eat next year. Let's look at your empire. You look at your life and you say, I'm doing okay. I have a house. I have 2 cars. I have a boat. I have a closet full of clothes. You think these are assets. You list them on your balance sheet. You tell the bank, my net worth is high. You are lying to yourself. These are not assets. These are liabilities. These are parasites. Let me give you the primal definition of an asset. I don't care what your accountant says. I care about the flow of biological energy, cash. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. Look at your house. Does it pay you every month? No. You pay the mortgage. You pay the property tax. You pay the insurance. You pay for the new roof. You pay for the broken boiler. The house is eating you. It is a giant wooden brick mouth that demands to be fed fed thousands of dollars every month just to let you sleep inside it. It is not an investment, it is expensive consumption. But it appreciates in value, you scream. Maybe, if you're lucky, if the market holds, if you sell it in 30 years. But in the meantime, for 30 years, it is bleeding you dry. It is restricting your mobility. It is tying you to a location. It is a golden ball and chain. The rich buy real estate to rent to others. The property feeds them. The poor buy real estate to live in. The property eats them. One is an asset. The other is a liability. Know the difference. Now look at your car. This is the stupidest investment a human being can make. You take $50,000 of hard-earned capital and dump it into a machine that loses 20% of its value the moment you drive it off the lot. It is a mechanical vampire. It sucks gas. It sucks insurance. It sucks repairs. And it rots while it sits in the driveway 95% of the time. You are working 3 months of every year just to pay for the privilege of driving to work, to pay for the car. It is a circular absurdity. You are a slave to your transport, and yet you identify with it. I'm a BMW guy. No, you are a BMW victim. The car company is the predator. You are the host. This is the trap of the high-income poor. I know men who make $300,000 a year. They should be free, but they are broke. Why? Because they collect pets. The big house is a pet. The luxury car is a pet. The boat is a pet. The country club membership is a pet. All these things have mouths. They all need to be fed. The man makes $25,000 a month and he spends $25,000 a month feeding his pets. He is running on a treadmill at maximum speed. If he trips, the pets eat him. He has zero free cash flow. He has zero freedom. He cannot quit his job. He cannot take a risk. He is terrified of his boss. Why? Because the beast, his lifestyle, is hungry. He is not the master of his possessions. He is their servant. If you do not own your things, they own you. You need to audit your life. Look at everything you own. Ask the brutal question, does this feed me or do I feed it? If you feed it, it is a liability. You are allowed to have liabilities. You are allowed to have a nice car. But your liabilities must be paid for by your assets, not your labor. This is the rule of the rich. If you want the Porsche, you do not buy it with your salary. You buy a rental property. The cash flow from the rental property pays the lease on the Porsche. The asset feeds the pet. You do not feed the pet. If you feed the pet with your own sweat, you are a fool. You are increasing your burn rate without increasing your harvest. The goal of the primal code is to be asset heavy and liability light. You want a legion of soldiers, stocks, bonds, real estate, businesses, bringing you tribute. You want as few parasites, luxury goods, subscriptions, debts, sucking your blood as possible. Right now, your ratio is inverted. You have 0 soldiers and 1,000 parasites, and you wonder why you are tired. You are biologically exhausted because you are supporting a parasitic ecosystem on your back. Stop buying stuff. Stuff is the consolation prize for the losers of the economic game. They give you shiny objects to distract you from the fact that you own nothing of value. You own the consumer goods. The master owns the factory. You own the iPhone. The master owns Apple stock. Who is winning? The one who holds the device or the one who holds the equity? Every time you buy a liability, you are transferring wealth from your family to the family of the shareholder. You are making them dynastically wealthy while you get a toy that breaks in 2 years. You must develop an allergic reaction to liabilities. When you see a new car, you shouldn't feel envy. You should feel disgust. You should see the depreciation curve. You should see the wasted capital. You should see the chains. When you see a mansion, don't think dream home. Think maintenance nightmare. Change your wiring. Start lusting after cash flow. Start lusting after equity. Start lusting after that boring index fund statement that shows your soldiers multiplying in the dark. That is sexy. That is power. A Ferrari is just a cry for help. A portfolio that pays your living expenses is a roar of dominance. You have to simplify to amplify. Cut the fat. Sell the junk. Downsize the cage. Free up the capital. Take that money and buy freedom. Freedom is not free. It is bought. And the price is the sacrifice of your vanity. Are you willing to look poor for 5 years to be rich for 50? Or do you need to look rich today, even if it guarantees you will be poor forever? The parasites are waiting for your answer. Do not feed them. Starve the beasts. Feed the soldiers. You have spent your whole life thinking in straight lines. You think, I work 1 hour, I get $20. I work 2 hours, I get $40. This is linear thinking. This is the logic of the laborer. It is the logic of simple addition. $1 plus $1, $2. Nature does not work by addition. Nature works by multiplication. Look at a bacteria colony in a petri dish. 1 bacterium divides and becomes 2. 2 become 4. 4 become 8. 16. 32. For a long time, the dish looks empty. You look at it and say, nothing is happening. This is a waste of time. But then suddenly the curve goes vertical. 64, 128, 256, 512, 1024, 2048, 4096. In the final few cycles, the colony explodes and consumes the entire dish. This is compound interest. It is the 8th wonder of the world. world, according to Einstein. I call it exponential biology, and it is the only way to escape the gravity of your salary. Your money has a libido. Money wants to have sex. Money wants to have babies. If you lock $2 in a vault, savings account, you are keeping them in solitary confinement. They are sterile. They die alone. If you put them in an asset, stock market, business, real estate, you are putting them in a breeding ground. They have children, dividends, interest. And then, this is the key, the children have children, and the grandchildren have children. Soon you have an army, you have a civilization, and this civilization works for you 24 hours a day. It does not sleep, it does not need coffee, it does not ask for a raise, it just grows. This is the difference between working for money and money working for you. When you work, you are adding. When your money works, it is multiplying. You cannot outwork multiplication. You can run as fast as you want, but the guy with the exponential curve will eventually pass you while he is walking. But here is the trap. Here is why you are poor. You cannot survive the valley of disappointment. When you start investing, the curve is flat. It is boring. You invest $1,000. At the end of the year, you made $80. You look at that $80 and you laugh. That's it? I can make $80 in 2 hours of overtime. Why would I starve myself to save $1,000 just to make a pathetic $80? So you quit. You sell the stock. You buy the shoes. You just killed the baby in the crib. You didn't understand the biology. That first $80 was the hardest money you ever made. That $80 was the first generation of bacteria. You have to wait for the 10th generation. You have to wait for the 20th generation. The magic doesn't happen at the beginning. It happens at the end. Warren Buffett made 99% of his wealth after his 50th birthday. Think about that. He spent 40 years in the valley of disappointment, building the snowball, letting the bacteria breed, and then the explosion happened. You want the explosion now. You have high time preference. You are the child who digs up the seed the next day to see if it has grown. By digging it up, you killed it. You have to have the discipline to let the system run. You must understand the rule of 72. Divide 72 by your interest rate. That is how many years it takes to double your money. If you get 10%, the market average, your money doubles every 7 years. 10K becomes 20K. 20K becomes 40K. 40K becomes 80K. 80K becomes 160K. 160K becomes 320K. 320K becomes 640K. 640K becomes $1.98 million. Look at the math. In the first 7 years, you made 10K. In the last 7 years, you made 640K. Same time period, same interest rate, massive difference in result. Why? Because of the base. The bacteria colony was huge. Most of you quit in the first cycle. You say, investments don't work. No, you don't work. You lack the patience of a predator. The predator waits for days in the snow for the perfect kill. You can't even wait 5 years for your portfolio to mature. This is why time is your most precious asset. You cannot buy time. You can only use the time you have left. Every day you wait to start investing, you are killing the final doubling cycle. If you start at 20, you get 7 cycles. You are rich. If you start at 30, you miss a cycle. You have half as much money. If you start at 40, you miss 2 cycles. You have 25% of the potential. Delay is expensive. The cost of procrastination is not just lost time, it is lost geometry. You are deleting the vertical part of the curve. You are actively choosing to be poor in your old age because you wanted to buy a slightly nicer car in your 20s. That is a bad trade. That is trading a diamond for a donut. You need to view your investment account not as a bank, but as a life form. It is a pet dragon. When it is a baby, it is small, weak, and useless. You have to feed it constantly. It gives nothing back. You have to defend it. But if you feed it, if you protect it, if you let it grow, one day it becomes a monster. One day it is big enough to hunt for you. One day it is big enough to burn down the village of your enemies. One day it breathes fire, and then you never have to work again. You just ride the dragon. You are currently starving your dragon to feed your hamster, your ego. Stop feeding the hamster. Feed the dragon. The system is designed to distract you from this truth. They want you to trade. They want you to gamble. They want you to buy options. They want you to be hyperactive. Why? Because the casino makes money on the transactions. Real wealth is boring. Real wealth is sitting on your hands. Real wealth is, I bought this thing. I will never sell it. It will breed forever. This requires a mental shift from hunter to farmer. The hunter goes out every day. The farmer plants the tree and waits. But once the orchard is grown, the farmer eats more than the hunter ever could. You need to be a primal farmer. Plant the seeds of capital in the soil of the economy. Water them with your monthly contributions. Protect them from the pest of inflation. And wait. Wait with the cold, dead patience of a stone. Let the biology do the work. Do not interrupt the compounding. Rule number 1 of compounding. Never interrupt it unnecessarily. If you pull money out to buy a car, you just committed an abortion on your financial future. Let it grow. This is the only way out. You cannot work your way to $1 million. Your body will break first. You have to grow your way there. You have have to harness the force of the universe that turns one cell into a human being. That same force turns $1 into an empire, but you have to give it the first cell, and you have to give it time. You have the first cell, you have the dollar. Do you have the patience, or are you just another monkey looking for a banana right now? The video is ending, the screen will go dark, and you will be left alone with your bank account. Open your banking app, look at the number. You feel a sense of comfort looking at that number, don't you? It feels solid, it feels safe. That feeling is a lie. That number is not a fortress. It is a sandcastle at low tide, and the tide is coming in. The invisible predator is in the room with you right now. While you were watching this video, the central banks printed another $1 billion. While you were watching this video, the cost of energy, food, and housing quietly ticked up. While you were sitting there feeling safe, your life force was being siphoned off. You are bleeding, and you don't even know it because the cut is so clean. We are living in the age of the great devaluation. The system is drowning in debt. There is only one way out for the powers that be: inflate the debt away. They will debase the currency until it is worthless. They have done it in Rome. They have done it in Weimar Germany. They have done it in Zimbabwe. They are doing it right now in real time to the dollar, the euro, and the yen. They are choosing to sacrifice your savings to save their system. You are the collateral damage. If you stay in cash, you are volunteering to be the victim. You are standing on the train tracks, watching the locomotive of history barrel towards you, and you are saying, "But I have a savings account. I'm responsible." The train does not care. The train will crush you, and your savings will buy a loaf of bread in 20 years. You have two choices. Choice 1, the victim. Keep doing what you are doing. Work hard. Save 10%. Put it in the bank. Wait for retirement. This is the path of the slow boil. You will wake up at 60, and you will realize that you cannot afford to stop working. You will realize that the nest egg is cracked. You will be the old man bagging groceries because his pension got eaten by inflation. This is not a risk. This is a mathematical certainty. The path of safety is the path of poverty. Choice 2, the owner. You stop trusting the paper. You start trusting the assets. You realize that the only way to survive the flood is to build an ark. The ark is made of things that cannot be printed: land, gold, commodities, profitable businesses, technology. These things are real. When the flood of money comes, the ark floats, the paper drowns. You must become an owner. This requires courage. It requires you to take your hard-earned money and lose it into an investment. It requires you to stomach the volatility. It requires you to sleep well even when the market is red, knowing that you own value, not price. The owner does not care about the price of the house today. He cares that the house is still standing and generating rent. The owner does not care about the stock price today. He cares that the company is selling products and paying dividends. He plays the long game. The victim plays the short game. You have to decide, are you a squirrel or a wolf? The squirrel hides the nut and hopes it is there in winter. The wolf conquers territory. The territory feeds the wolf forever. You have been acting like a squirrel. It is time to mutate. It is time to look at every dollar in your pocket and ask, are you a seed or are you dead weight? If it is in your pocket, it is dead weight. If it is in the market, it is a seed. Plant it. Throw it into the storm. I want you to feel the urgency. The window is closing. Asset prices are running away from you. The house you could buy for $300K is now $500K. Soon it will be 1 millimeters. The stock is up. The gold is up. The train is leaving the station. You are still on the platform, counting your pennies. Get on the train. It doesn't matter if you start small. Start with $50. Start with $100. Buy 1 share. Buy 1 ounce. Buy 1 fraction of a Bitcoin. Just get your energy out of the dying currency and into the living economy. Break the paralysis. The first investment is the hardest. The second is easier. The third is a habit. The habit saves your life. The primal code is clear. Cash is trash. Rotting meat. Inflation is a predator. The invisible tax. Assets are the ark, the raft. Hoarding is suicide. The scarcity trap. Plant the seeds. Compound growth. This is not financial advice. This is survival advice. I am not telling you how to get rich. I am telling you how not to go extinct. The flood is here. The water is rising. You can stand there and drown with your wallet in your hand. Or you can start building the raft, 1 plank at a time, 1 asset at a time. Don't wait for the water to reach your neck. Build now. Swim or sink. The predator is hungry. Don't be the meal.